सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा कीजे नाथ हृदय महाडेरा कीजे नाथ हृदय महाडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरण मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसो सुरभूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर. And she came to tell you to switch off your mobile phones. So please do, so that Hanuman ji can have some vijay. So Jai Hanuman Gyan Gun Sagar, Jai Kapisa Tihu Lok Ujagar. That Hanuman ji, victory to you, and may the three worlds be illumined by you, or rather, that the three worlds are illumined by you. Now one will say that Jai Kapis, Hanumanji was never the king of the Kapis, the king of the Vanars, the king of, say, the monkeys. It was Sugriv and it was Vali. But you see, if you have to understand leadership, there are many types of leadership. One is because you are in some position, you got some leadership. Whether fit or unfit also, you got a leadership. Like if you become the president of the country, you have got a leadership, at least for 5 years, is it not? Then there is a leadership by dominion. Then there is a leadership through inspiration. But the best way of leadership is when you rule the hearts of people. When you say you rule the hearts of people, where people keep you on the throne of your heart, of their heart. Isn't it? When someone loves you, they will just do what you would want them to do. Therefore, in that sense, whoever did anything, include Sugriv also, would follow Hanumanji's only, no? Because pure heart, always thinking about the welfare of everyone. So, Jai Kapisa Tihu Loka Ujagar. It is by you that the worlds are illumined. Now one will say, from a monkey, and very often we translate Vanar, Kapi as monkey. That is how we generally translate. And then you say, how can monkeys speak? How can this is all mythology? It has been brainwashed into our mind. And yet Darwin's theory, very scientific. We say there was a missing link between apes and man. Why don't you think Hanumanji was that missing link? Sugriv was that missing link. And understand, in nature, in the cosmos, dinosaurs came, dinosaurs got extinct. We don't even know how intelligent they were. We only think that their brains were small or big and therefore they were intelligent or not. Many creatures have come and gone. Human beings have come onto the earth only a few million years ago. Can we not say that when time requires or nature requires, there are beings of different form with intelligence? We talk about aliens having such weird forms. They think we are weird, of course. Thus, don't consider what our rishis have pointed out as epics or itihasa. So it was. But besides that historical factor of it, still, how can you say that the three worlds are illumined by him? The word kapi Kapis in Sanskrit means, okay, let me break it down for you. Two words are there, and in Sanskrit each word has got its root. And from there, the various shades of meaning are derived. Here there are two root words. One is P. P, everybody knows, no? P, K, I. P, pibati. To drink. Acha, Hanumanji is drunk. Oh. Shivji's reputation though is quite spoiled. Yeah? Or rather glorified. Now they've used Hanumanji also. But Hanumanji, it is not said that he drinks wine or bhang. He drinks ka. And you say, what is this ka? Yeah. See, in America, especially, they love shortening names, abbreviations. They even make the Swami's name short. And they just want to. So they, even Gurudev sometimes they would put just the letter. Hey, here also we do. No? Our uncle also is called by his letters more than anything else. Right? So, the short forms of abbreviations or name, something like that we use. So they also were saying like, oh, and one lady had come and she was American, and she saw all these Swamis there. She said, you see that man, that tall man with the silver beard, he's Swami C. It's very bad manners to say that. But she said, Swami C. Yeah, that cute short one is Swami T. That frisky one is Swami D. You don't know him, but Swami D. Don't ask what she said about me. Okay? He is Swami S, whatever. But she was confused that she got everybody's letters right. But she doesn't see who is this Swami G. For her, that is also a Swami with G, So, what is Ga? See, just like Coca-Cola becomes Coke. And you see, they were more advanced in India at that time. So, Coca-Cola became Coke, Coke became Ka. So, Coke pibati iti kapi. If Coca-Cola gets this ad, it will be a hit around the world. All they have to define this, but please don't give it to Coca-Cola. So, actually the word ka in Sanskrit means bliss or happiness. Again, the word bliss nowadays is used for God knows what. It means happiness. Kam sukham. Kam brahma sukham pibati iti kapi. One who is drinking the bliss of the infinite reality, such a person of realization, enlightenment is called as Kapi. Ka is also the name of Vishnu. In Vishnu Sahasranama you will read it. And therefore one who is drinking the bliss of devotion to Lord Vishnu is also called as Kapi. So such a loving one, a person of enlightenment, is called as Kapi. And is it not that even today, if the world is awakened into their true nature, to their true potential, to their true heritage, to their true culture, because of such saints and sages only? So, Jai Kapi Satimu Loka Ujagar. Rama Duta Atudita Baladhama Anjani Putra Pavanasuta Nama. Rama Duta. Now here are all the names. One name we've seen yesterday, Hanuman. Second name today, Kapis. But Kapis is still a general name for all those who ruled over Kapis. But Hanumanji got that title, so he's also Kapis. Now, in this verse, Hanumanji's names are mentioned. Herein we'll take a little bit of time to understand that what does a name mean? Today we gave names as Tinku, Pinku, Dinku, Pinku, Pinku, Dinku, Tinku, something we give. Saisha, Sarrasha, we don't even know the meaning of it. Name in Sanskrit means that which indicates you, that which describes you. And we give such noble names to our children so that it may remind them what they are supposed to be. Or you get names according to what you are. So that by your mere name, people know what you are. That is why a name is given. Hanumanji has got many names. First and foremost, he is called as Ramaduta. Normally, whenever we introduce ourselves, it's generally with the most important relationship in our life, or the most popular relationship. Like if your father is very famous, you'll say, I'm daughter or son of so and so. Is it not? Now, very often in marriage, sometimes the husband is not that famous. So after marriage also she'll say, I'm daughter of so and so. Husband's name is not there. Yeah. Also, you will hear that if the husband is popular, wife say, I'm so and so's wife. But nowadays, most husbands don't feel fair. Even Narayana is known through Shri only. Narayana is also known through Shri only. So, if the wife is popular, husband is known by that name, is it not? And also, the relationship whom we give most importance to. What is our primary relationship with anybody? Really, is your primary relationship with your father or mother? Is your primary relationship with your profession? That's why you say, I'm a doctor, I'm an engineer. Depends what your relationship is with. And so important that you learn to define yourself. See, when we even have seminars, even corporate seminars, can we define what is our company? What is the purpose? What is the mission? What is the vision of our company? Your behavior in this world will depend on what you identify yourself with primarily. Then of course, we've got multiple relationships, we've got multiple roles in our life also to live. But what is our primary relationship? What is our primary definition? What is our primary name? We just take up some given name to us. It's so important to know that. Therefore, whenever Hanumanji was asked, who are you? When Mother Sita saw him first time and asked, who are you? He says, Ramaduta main matu jani ki. Hanumanji always introduced himself as, I am the messenger of Ram. Even when Ravan asked him, who are you, having destroyed my Ashok Vatika, my garden? Who are you? He says, by whose drop of power, hey Ravan, you have conquered the three worlds. His messenger, his sevak. I am in his service. You know, when someone is in His Majesty's service, or in Her Majesty's service, James Bond, you know what is his power, right? So, who does Hanumanji identify with primarily? And all of us also in our life, Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib has said very beautifully in his shlokas which you find in the end of Guru Granth Sahib, no? That all relationships in this life are only temporary. That's why relatives are called only as relative. Most of them depend on how much money you have and how much money you are ready to give. Well, some very close one like children, wife, etc. might be different. But otherwise, most relatives, we call them relative because they're only relative. Yeah? They're related to something, not to you. But what is our primary relationship? Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib says that all other relationships are only there in this life, and each one has to walk his or her journey, and finally each and every one is going to leave you and abandon you. But with whom you have this permanent relationship, who is never going to abandon you, with that one you never thought or built a relationship. तन धारा संपत सगल जिन अपनी करमान इनमें कछु संगी नहीं नानक साची जान. That none of them are with you finally. This doesn't mean that you don't look after your relationship and in this life you do not. But that primary relationship. And here Hanumanji always never forgets that I am here to do his will. That is the first relationship that Hanumanji has built. So Ramadut. Atulita Baladhama. And incidentally, I met this person. I always, in this reference, when I have to speak in great details, because people want to see the relevance in their life, I generally explain that herein we have, in this particular very simple looking nomenclature of Hanumanji, the complete secret of success without stress. Or at least how to manage stress or eliminate stress. And very incidentally, the person who's involved in this incident, after many, many years, just now when I was flying to Hong Kong, met me at the airport, stood in front of me. I'm seeing him after 20, 25 years. His change is great. Of course, as you age, your face also changes a little bit. He comes and stands in front of me. Swamiji, I've been thinking about you. I've been wanting to meet you. And I don't know if you remember me. And then, when suddenly it occurred to me, I said, Ari, I talk about you in every session on stress. I was going to this one place in Africa. And those days, anybody could come in, even to the aircraft. And this young man, and incidentally having heard my Hanuman Chalisa videos that were taken either in Hong Kong or Jakarta at that time. This is 1992. He had heard it and they had invited me specifically after hearing these talks on Hanuman Chalisa. They were so inspired. And he met me right in the airport, right at the aircraft. And so excited, and I excited to see that these young people are enthusiastic, and I wouldn't be sitting there addressing some very elderly people, because that small town it was, so people used to think only, old people attend satsang. And he said, Swamiji, and you're speaking on a pertinent topic of success without stress. Very often they say stress without success. You didn't get it, because that's quite wrong. He was so excited, so excited. And just now he met me at the airport with the same excitement. And he says, what a pertinent subject, because really we are stressed out. I said, yeah, I know, everybody is stressed out. And those days stress was quite a buzzword. So I said, don't worry, we've got a solution to it. In 8 days I'll be talking on that only, based on the 3rd chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Very excited, but from next year onwards I didn't see him. He didn't come to any of the discourses. His young wife, such a gentle person, such a lovely person, she was attending, but he didn't attend at all. Last day he comes. It's late night, Bhiksha, we are there, great, and totally stressed out. And all those youngsters there said, Swamiji, when you first came in, we thought we really envy a Swami's lifestyle, traveling around the world, being fed by all our mothers, but you're not in any enviable position. At that time he comes and tells, that, Swamiji, you're already going. I said, why are you saying I'm going? You never came even one day. He said, Swamiji, what to do? Stressed out. I said, then what do you think I came here for? He said, can you tell me? So his stress, he's still stressed for 8 days. Now he says, in 8 minutes you tell me what you spoke for 8 days. I just told him that, how do you now create stress for me? But his wife, who attended every day, she was just looking at me like, I have to live with this man. For her sake, 8 minutes, I told him, now in 8 minutes, how can I give him a complete psychology of the human mind, the reasons for stress, etc. But I just asked him one question. I said, you were working for your father. I learned already, I'd been to the house also. You were working for your father before your marriage, did you not? Yes. What time you used to go to work? He says at 10 o'clock. That time you were courting your wife at that time. Now your wife. What time did you leave from office? He said 5:30. In between, how many times you gave her phone calls? He said number of times. I said, you were working in the same company. Obviously you worked well, because the father had told me that the moment he got married, I handed over the whole business to him. So you must be working well only. That time were you stressed? He said, no. I said, why? He said, because I was working for my father. But obviously you did a good job that your father could trust the entire business upon you. What has happened after marriage? That you don't have time for her. You don't call her up. That you're so stressed out. What has changed in the business in the last few months? 3 months only from marriage. What has changed? The only thing has changed is, first you were working for your father, now you're working for yourself. If you make God the CEO of your company, or managing director of your company, and surrender to Him, you know you're going to get your dues. Why worry? Simple thing is, define yourself. Rama Duta. And I know even now there are many people, many of our youngsters, who say, the Lord is the director of our company, we are only working to serve Him. Lost profit is His, He will give me my dues, and I work on the principles of what the director wants. Once we say that, can you imagine how much free of stress we are? See, Ramaduta. Atulita Baladhama. Okay. Not only what happens is that once you have dedicated yourself to the Supreme, to someone who's great, like for example, if you are some ambassador of some unknown country, even in India you will not have any value, that person. But you say, I'm the ambassador of America, I'm an ambassador of UK, and now you say I'm an ambassador of India. You've got some value, is it not? And it is not that we are not slaves. We are slaves to TV, we are slaves to BV also. BV means wife. We are slaves to whatever you may call it, things. Because if I give some examples, some of you get very touchy. So, you get attached to something or the other, but literally we slog and slave for those things. But when you are dedicated to someone higher, nobler, greater, more powerful, then understand one thing. The force and power that goes through you is incomparable. Therefore, Atulita Baladama. Tulna means comparison. Atulita means incomparable. No? Incomparable. A board of strength. Even here in Bhagavad Gita we find a reference to that, where Krishna points out, Balam balavatam asmi kama raga vivarjitam. I am the strength in the strong. It's an infinite saying, that I am the strength in the strong, in those who are free of attachment and those who are free of obsessive desire. And people in whatever position they may be of power, what weakens them, whether it is Batman, what is Superman, is their attachment, is it not? Yeah. And you can weaken even some of the most mightiest people because of their some lust or desire. Therefore, one who doesn't have that, Atulita Baladhama, this is describing Hanumanji, abode of incomparable strength. Anjani Putra, son of Anjani, and Pavanasuta Nama. And he's also called as Pavanasuta. Nama means name. So now in this verse, how many names are there? You count? Ramadut, Atulita Bala, Anjani, Pavanasuta. But the word Nama also is the name of Hanumanji. He's called itself as name because he is the very embodiment of the name of Sri Ram. Why? We will see in one beautiful incident that's coming up later on. But he is the very embodiment of the name of the Lord. And those of you who know the power of name, the power of Nam, I'm not talking about just some mantra. Today, anywhere you go and you say, I am from Chinmaya Mission, or whoever's got a great name, that name itself gives you such presence, gives you such importance, gives you such a importance also, is it not? That's why the saints have said, Jo naam ka pratap hai tumhe yaad ho ki na yaad ho. What is the power of name? Don't underestimate it. Today also you've got reputation in society is because of the name your ancestors made for your family, isn't it? When you say, I belong to this Hakai or that family or this, it's the name of that family that gives you recognition. Therefore, how important it is. Hanumanji is the one as effective as the name of the Lord. As effective as Ram's name. That's why there's even a beautiful portion in Ramcharitmanas that Ram bada ya naam bada. What is greater? Is Ram greater or is his name greater? Well, Ram is great, that's why his name is also great. You can argue that, no? But you see, Ram in his own life, while he was on this earth, he did such great things that his name became great. But today, all great things are done by his name only, no? Yeah. If Ram helped a number of people, the name for countless generations have helped people, is it not? Thus, Hanumanji is the very embodiment of the name of the Lord, as effective. And every breath of his was constant remembrance of Ram Nam. Therefore, Nama itself is the name of Hanumanji. So, Ramadut Atulita Baladhama Anjani Putra Pavanasuta Nama. Mahavira Vikrama Bajrangi Kumati Nivar Sumati Ke Sangi Kanchana Varana Viraj Subesa Kanana Kundala Kunchita Kesa. So Mahavir, another name of Hanumanji is Mahavir. Mahavir, Veer means one with valor. Like that, even Ravan was called by Vibhishan as Ranavir. He's one who gets out to the battlefield and will not turn his back, either will die or will fight dying or win, but not run away from the battlefield. This is not about war only. It's about when someone gets into the field of action. When someone gets into the field of action, will not escape from that field of action. Such a person is called as Ranaveer. But Ramchandraji was called as Mahavir. Mahavir means mighty one with valor. He's a mighty valor. But other than that, what is this mighty valor? Ranaveer. To live up to our culture, to live up to our values, Dharmaveer. Then also Dayaveer. To have compassion requires a lot of courage, requires a lot of valor. Tyagaveer. To let go of something requires a lot of strength and valor. And one valor mentioned there, I tell you, most people get defeated by that. It's called as Danaveer. To give selflessly in charity. You don't know, by the time the hand goes inside, very willing to give, it becomes so weak, it doesn't come out only. And what comes out is very light. It requires a lot of... See, the rishis, when they thought about it, it's not about just sharing money, anything. We become so to give anything, even to forgive, by which we free ourselves. See how hard it is. This is called as Mahavir. So Hanumanji is called as Mahavir. Now somebody may have great might and strength. So Atulita Baladama, but must have valor and courage also, is it not? But someone has got valor and courage, but doesn't do any action, doesn't do anything. Vikrama, one with mighty activities, and all that is going to be enumerated. What Hanumanji, what feats has he performed? So Vikrama, Bajrangi, his body is like Vajra, the mighty missile of Indra Devata, which is considered to be indestructible and invincible. Today you are talking about technology in even weapons, where remote control or by just infrared. The latest one, no, you all are nicely showing your face on X. Do you know X means what?
No.
They want to eliminate you. Now all they need is a face detector on their missile, and you are finished. And you call this wow, what advanced technology. So you think they didn't have this technology before? Face detection. It's considered to be indestructible and invincible. And infallible also. And Hanumanji is called as Bajrangi, that his body cannot be destroyed. और कहते हैं ना हिंदी में, अगर किसी के ऊपर टूट पड़े तो उसकी खैर नहीं. If he falls on someone, then that person cannot escape, for good or for bad, whatever it may be. Now someone who is so mighty, so invincible, Bajrangi. But one thing is there, most people will get frightened of such a person, is it not? That someone who is not only the mightiest, one who is fearless, and one who is indestructible, such a person will become a lethal weapon that no one can control. But by saying Bajrangi, Vajra was the weapon never made to destroy that which is good. It was made only to destroy that which is harmful to others. But Goswami Tulsidas ji says, Kumati Nivara Sumati Ke Sangi. If someone is like that in our streets in Bombay, you think that Hindi films are But why do you think everything in our country is myth only? Even our Bollywood movies are not myth. One person bashing up 15 people and more 15 people jumping into the sea. We have seen it with our own eyes. With jeeps running after them, jumping over buildings. We have seen such gundas. And such gundas everybody else has to be frightened about. Even the police used to tremble in the name of that person. I'm not joking, even that word bindas, which has become very famous today, came from our street. Mahavir Vikrama Bajrangi, but here he says Kumati Nivara Sumati Ke Sangi. Luckily, Hanumanji is on the good side. Sumati means mati, intellect. Su means sushtu. Yeah. Just like Suman, Sushila, Su, no? Yeah. Like Su now, something don't think about. Some of you will start getting up right now. Su in Sanskrit means that which is the best. The Sumati, mati means intellect, attitude. So Sumati ke Sangi is always encouraging, assisting those who are of good intellect or good people. And Kumati Nivar. See, even English has come from Sanskrit only, there is no doubt about it. See, Ku iti krukada. Sanskrit, Ku means crooked. Kumati. Twisted intellect. See, it's not that people don't have intellect. It's either it's right or it is twisted. You can go to extreme also, perverted intellect. So, Kumati Nivara Sumati Ke Sangi. And this best example, because we are here to really be, explanation is one thing. We all want explanation because we've got intellect. But so beautifully demonstrated for our meditation in the Ramayana, that when Hanumanji reaches Lanka, what must be Ravan's administration? That he did not have men as securities. Now in India, your defense minister is a woman. And wisely enough, because many men on job sleep. Even evening, why they can't come? Many people, because this is the time when they watch the television and doze off. If you're going to doze off, why don't you come? And if you have a security guard, you go to many places where there are security, where in India or in Africa, and if you have a male security guard, you'll be surprised. They're all sleeping at night. You can cross over them and go in your house, making all noise, trying to wake them up. They won't wake up. How difficult it is for a thief to get in. Ravan had a woman for security. And I'll tell you even now, if you're carrying your jewelry for a wedding, do not go to a lady officer. It's a compliment, it's not anything, no? They have some X-ray vision. Even what time you came home, daddy will never come to know. But moms know. Yeah? That vision. So she caught him. And he had the capacity to take different form. But in darkness, nobody can see there that he took a form as small as a mosquito. And he was trying to get in. But she caught him. You try catching mosquitoes. It's very difficult unless you have got this Chinese racket. Ingenious, I tell you. It's a lifesaver. Or life destroyer. I don't know. Whatever it may be. Yeah? As small as a mosquito. But she detected him. And she said, "Oh thief! Do you know thieves who enter Lanka? They are my food." Now see, she's serving a thief. But she calls Hanumanji, who's come to find his mother, whom he calls as mother, and Ravan has stolen the aircraft, Pushpak Viman, from Kuber. Ravan has stolen someone's wife. And she's serving him, and someone who's come to find his mother, And she calls him as Thir. This is called as Kumati, twisted intellect. And in this world, all our false expectations, all our false grievances, all our false relationships that we make with false expectations that we have, and then we feel disappointed. If you read Bhaj Govindam, you'll see so many of them enumerated there. And here you see, Hanumanji has come. And what did Hanumanji? Left all chivalry. She said, I'm going to eat you. And Hanumanji had no time to be eaten up. So he gave her one box. She was mighty, huh? He gave her one box. She fell down. And if you had one box from Hanumanji, or any one of us would have one, you'd probably go into space. That mighty and powerful. But how strong she must be. She just fell down and instantly rose up. Even Ravan, when he was hit by Hanumanji, he went into a little bit of a, what they call that, when you get dash, fainted for a few seconds or went into a daze. She instantly got up and Hanumanji was just ready standing there. And she, instead of boxing Hanumanji, in Ravan's fight, Hanumanji gave Ravan such a big blow that Ravan fell down, totally perturbed, and then he got up. So Hanumanji said, and he said, hey, you do have a strong fist. Hanumanji said, what a shame that you're still alive, to Ravan. Anyway, I hit you one box, you give me one box also. He gave that chance to Ravan. So Hanumanji was ready that he boxed her. She has also deserved to box him. He was ready to take the box. But she comes and folds her hand and says, Tata swarga apavarga sukha dhariyatula ika anga. She says that my son or brother, that if I were to keep all the happiness of the world, of heaven, and even of self-realization, of nirvana, apavarga, it would probably weigh a gram in front of satsang. You say, what is this satsang? Certainly, where did satsang come here? But when you say kumati nivara sumati ke sangi, the guru's job, the work of a saint and sage, of a teacher, of a parent, is not just to pet and pat and encourage us, which they should, but it is to remove our false thinking and encourage our right thinking. Yeah. And for that, sometimes, I'm not talking about physical blows. Yeah. We never start correcting our thinking until and unless we get some blows in our life. Blows does not mean that somebody boxes you or you have some big calamity in your life. But something that will hit you to think. And satsang is, when you say it's a thought-provoking satsang, we can listen to a satsang and then tell some other person, did you hear that? Did you hear that? Yeah. We do like gurus who would come and tell you, Hare, do whatever you want to do. Very good. Yeah. And take you to an ego stick ride. But a true saint is one who bashes our ego, uproots our wrong thinking so that he can make the flower, or uproots our weeds, and who can make our flower of our mind bloom. Therefore it is called as satsang. And therefore wherever Hanumanji went, he would vanquish the evil, but always encourage and guide, protect those who are of right thinking. Therefore, Kumati Nivara Sumati Ke Sangi. That's why we don't have to get frightened. Hanumanji is always on your side. Because you're good, right? At the same time, he's not a flatterer. And how wonderful you have if you have someone to correct you when you are wrong. Because in our wrong actions, it is not that what we do to others, it's what we do to ourselves. The consequences of those actions, we only will have to bear. And if someone can correct us at the right time, how wonderful it is. Is it not? Those who are there to only, flatter and get something out of us, they will only say, oh, everything you do is good, everything is fine, everything is good. Oh, do whatever you want to do, They might tell you like that. And we like that. We like to hear our praises. But always allow your parent, allow your guru, allow a spiritual person whom at least you have trust has always your welfare in their mind over the years to correct you when you are wrong. Not anybody in the world. Everybody is there to criticize everybody. Yeah? Then you'll be like those people who like a donkey, a father and son walking with a donkey. Somebody criticized. Arey, look at it, they were a donkey and he's making his old father walk. So when his father said, another person, father is sitting on the donkey and son is walking. What a shame, what a father he is. So he made the son sit. Others said, young man is sitting and the father is walking. Then finally they both sat and somebody criticized, look at how cruel they are, two people sitting on a donkey. We're not talking about such critiques. Always have someone in your life who's not here to just pet and pat you. Therefore, Kumati Nivara Sumati Ke Sangi. Only those people really progress spiritually. Not that, where is that thing said? Wherever that thing said, then you are not going to progress at all. Kumati Nivara Sumati Ke Sangi. Now someone will say, but oh, that is very, someone so powerful. And you know what? We fear also anyone powerful who can even check our weaknesses. Even though we may want it, but we fear such people. But see, Tulsidas ji says, even though Hanumanji is so mighty, he is not such a fearful person. And he says, Kanchana Varana Viraja Subesa Kanana Kundala Kunchita Kesa. Kanchana Varana, of a golden complexion. Kanchana Varana. Kanchan Varana, what a beautiful color you have. It's called tan. People go all the way to Florida and Spain to get the color you have. But in India, everybody wants fair and lovely. Yeah. Fair and handsome. We're so obsessed with that. Every color. Have you seen African beauty sometime? Color does not make a person beautiful. So Kanchana Varana, golden in form. And the word Kanchan also means, gold is called as Kanchan in Sanskrit. The reason for that is that Kanchan means that which attracts you. And that golden form, that gold attracts everybody. That's why gold is called as Kanchan. But Kanchan means attractive form. Kanchana Varana, Viraja Subesa. A charming face. Sometimes even somebody very fierce and angry. That's why, especially when people are in love and somebody is angry. Say, gussa itna haseen hai. So don't say that, that someone strong cannot look beautiful or handsome. Don't tell me. But it's not that. Viraja Suvesa. Charming face. And what to talk about, how trendy is Hanumanji. Kanana Kundala. Having earrings in his ear. And Kunchita Kesha. Kunchita Kesha means, sometimes Kunchit is pointed out as crew-cut hair. Or Kunchit also means curly. Both meaning is sometimes there, in that. But curly hair. So he would be also a very good model for, because apes have a lot of hair on there. So it would be a very good model for shampoo. Kunchita Kesa. Besides just describing the beauty of Hanumanji, in Hong Kong only I had this wonderful experience. We from Hong Kong only had taken the first picture of this Hanumanji. This is later on picture, first picture. And it had come out so beautiful that when they showed to Gurudev, Gurudev had told me that bring me 1,000 prints. Because this Hanumanji, and he had told us, it's not that, they're just idols there. It should be in every home. To bless every home. Now since Gurudev had told me, I had 1,000 of them printed here, because thinking that printing in Hong Kong would be very good, and Kodak printing and all was very good here. So we had that printing, many of the shops for printing. I was standing at the shop and trying to see each count, of course, at least minimum 1,000, it should not be even one less for giving to Gurudev, because he just said 1,000. And I was also trying to look into that there is no defective picture, because you offer him something undefected, such a perfection to a perfect person. So I was standing there for quite some time looking at it, and behind me, many Chinese girls were passing and going on behind me. So handsome. Of course, I did turn around, but I realized they were not telling me. They were looking at Hanumanji, and even the Chinese girls found him so handsome. Though I had to turn around and say, well, he's a brahmachari. Yeah? I mean, look at that form, how attractive. That's why I told you yesterday, the two most attractive forms that anybody may criticize these forms or idol worships or whatever it may be. But today you go to most pubs also, you'll find Ganeshji there. So adorable both of them are. And after all, most human beings are not adorable by everybody. But animals are. Because some of them become so adorable. So, not only he's handsome, now, here really speaking, besides just pointing out the looks of the person, or just pointing out he's the typical, your novel book, tall, dark, and handsome, macho guy. That's not all that is pointed out. If you want to be effective in your life, you have to be an effective leader in your life. You have to be an attractive personality. I'm not just talking about physical looks. One will say, a monkey, what attractive? Not just physical looks, but attractive personality. Viraja Subesa. Now tell me, which one of you, whatever age you may be today, and whatever age your mother may be today, don't find your mother to be the most beautiful woman in the world? Oh, okay, till you find your wife, okay. Because I know if I just leave it at that, it'll be big trouble. And because some of you nodded your head, and the one beside you might just say, what? I thought I was the most beautiful one. Yeah, of course, after. Next generation, you can say. How much wrinkled she may be, however, grey she may be, it is not the texture of the look that, you go for a facelift or whatever it may be. A mother is always beautiful to us. Why? Not because because whenever she is with us, that love in her eyes makes her look beautiful. Even when she's angry with us, it makes her look beautiful. That's why children don't bother when mommy is angry, is it not? They in fact laugh. An attractive face means an ever smiling, charming demeanor. And if you want to be effective salesman or anything, it's finally how you present yourself. See, these qualities of leadership you have to understand. Hanumanji just didn't become great like that. Every aspect of him, if you see, that brought about greatness to him. So, Kanana Kundala Kunchita Kesa. And Kundal, our Sanskrit verses point out very beautifully that earrings are not, though even he was wearing earrings. In Yoga Shastras, yogis used to wear earrings because some acupressure point or marma points are there, yeah, which help you in mastering your senses. And only those who have mastered their senses can do Shravan, can be good listeners, who listen to the knowledge of the truth or reality, who listen to the glories of the Lord or the Leelas of the Lord. And therefore it is pointed out in the Sanskrit Shubhashitas that the ornament of the hands are not bracelets and bangles. It is puja and seva. It is service and worship. And goes to point out all the ornaments. If you want to read those Shubhashitas, we have got a book also on that. And the ornament of the year is Hari Katha Shravan, listening to the glories of the Lord. And they are therefore Viraj, shining in his ear. Yeah. And Kunchita Kesha, not only that he has got well-groomed hair. Now, to expect that on a monkey, they didn't go for grooming, but Vanars maybe because they were quite advanced. But here, Kunchita Kesha. Kesha means hair, and when we call Krishna also as Keshava, Kesha also means rays, like the sun's rays, from whom rays of wisdom and knowledge is appearing. Yeah? So one who is not only handsome, attractive, with a very loving demeanor, but also one, and whom do we like? One who tells us good things, no doubt, but most important is someone who listens to us. Is it not? Even in family, someone who will listen to us. One who's ready to listen at the same time. One who is a person of character, of substance, of knowledge. So, Kanana Kundala Kunchita Kesa. Hath Vrajra or Dvaja Viraje, Kandhe Moj Janeyo Saje, Shankar Suvan Kesari, Nandan Tej Pratap Maha Jagavandan. So, Hath Vajra or Dvaja Viraje. Now, whenever you see Hanumanji's picture, somehow or the other you always see him with a club, gada. Of course, made fancy in pictures, but you see them only with gada. But really speaking, even in old description, we actually don't hear of Hanumanji having a particular instrument of war, gada. Those times the Vanars used to just pick up a tree and hit. Even in the war, it's said like that. Some say that the club, even though it's a handheld club, but when he swirls it, it is like Vajra. But we never see Hanumanji with a thunderbolt, Indra's Vajra thunderbolt in his hand, and never do we see him with a flag in his hand like a politician or political campaigner. We've never seen a picture like that. So you wonder, what does this mean? Hath Vajra or Dvaja Viraje. There are some people who understand from the previous verse and this verse that Hanumanji could take the form of a brahmachari, would take a form of a, Brahmin, And therefore they tried to see that into it, because when he first met Hanuman Ramchandraji, he had taken that form. So maybe it's a description of Hanumanji in that form. And also, it is said that such, not just a caste people, but such learned people, they have Vajra in their hand. Vajra means with the knowledge they can destroy our ignorance. Vajra also mistreating them. Not that they are sitting and cursing people, but it can be a curse also. No? That's why they sometimes say that. Vajra. And Dwaja, that people used to carry, no? As brahmacharis also, the Brahmins used to carry a particular stick with a flag on it. Some people try to describe it. But what beautiful definition, which links with the next one, Kande Moja Janeyu Saje. So he was wearing a Janeyu. Now if you say Vanar, and Janeyu was not given to Vanars, and it's not to be given to other castes. Now, of course, I don't have time now to go and explain the significance of Janeyu, but many a times here I have spoken on Gayatri Mantra and the Upanayana ceremony and the Janeyu. If not, I'm sure the CD is available, but it's a very significant part of our culture. What does this Janeyu actually mean? But today I will not go into the details of it because our sessions are very short. So what's relevant here, which is important? Hath Vajra or Dwaja Biraje. As such, you don't see Hanumanji with any of these things in their hand. The only description is when he came as a, you can take it as a description when he came as a Brahmin, Brahmachari to Ramchandraji. He took that form. But here, Tulsidas would just not be talking about the physical form of Hanumanji. Something very significant in this verse. If we say Hath Vajra, everybody knows that these lines, people can read even your character and your destiny. In the hands, there are two kind of signs. There's some different signs. One is of Vajra and the other is of Dwaja, flag. Now don't look into your hand, you will find it. Everybody likes to see in their hand that only. And these are not very easily seen signs on everyone. But know that Vajra, I've already explained to you, that it's a weapon of mighty power. Now again, if I tell you the whole story, that's why I said it takes 8-9 days to cover it only. No? But those who know the Puranic stories of Vajra, now this Vajra means power, and Dwaja, flag, always means name, glory, fame. Hanumanji was born from birth with mighty powers in his destiny, as well as fame in his destiny. He was born with it. Everybody's not born with it. Then are we a victim of our destinies? Or some people are just lucky to have some destiny. By saying, Kande Moja Janeyu Saje, that he wears the sacred thread made up of munja grass. It means that he's ever alert and vigilant. The munja grass can not just that cotton thread that now most people wear. And nowadays that also is removed and some chain is gone, and afterwards the chain is also thrown away. So nobody to remember that you have to do Gayatri Mantra daily. Because Rishis understood that intelligence is not a matter of genes. You can even change your intellectual capacity if the disciplines that are given along with the Janeyu, very simple, of the three eternal values, Satyam, honesty, Ahimsa, non-violence, and Brahmacharya, mastery over your senses. Mastery of your senses is not suppression of your senses, but knowing where to gear your senses and where to refrain your senses from with the intellect. And when we can conserve our energies in this manner, then such a mind, with the help of the Gayatri Mantra, And this has been well tested over generations. Even in present generations we have tested it. The significance of the Gayatri Mantra, as I said, now go and find out yourself. We have the CDs, we have the book, Tune in the Mind. Even the dullest intellect can become the bright intellect. Otherwise, you see, in the family always there's a fight. The child who's doing very well, the father will say, or mother, whichever, my genes. And that one got your genes. Intelligence is not a matter of genes. Agitated mind, intellect cannot think properly. Therefore, everyone can't calm their minds. So most powerful means given. And really speaking, the Gayatri Mantra has the power of Vajra, of Brahmastra. Do not underestimate the power of these mantras, which can not only quieten your mind, destroy your weaknesses, for which you are suffering. Weakness means not any particular thing. For which you are suffering. Destroy your weaknesses. At the same time, Diyo Yona Prachodayat. One who has got mastery over his or her senses. One who has got a pure and quiet mind. And one who has got a brilliant intellect, ever ready to get the insight of truth. Such a person alone can be a master of his destiny and the capacity to shape one's destiny. Otherwise, most people, they are the product of their own past. So, Hath Vajra or Dvaja Viraje Kande Moja Janeo Saje. Shankar Suvana Kesari Nandan Tej Pratapa Mahajagavandan. Shankar Suvana. Now one more father is added. Kesari Nandan. Third father is added. So Hanumanji's got three fathers. Shankara Suvana. It was said Pavana Sutta. And now is Kesari. Now the story goes that when Bhagwan took Mohini avatar, again these are stories, some of you may not even register it, but they're very fantastic, entertaining stories also, but also they are meant for our meditation. Because the story remains in our subconscious mind. And when the intellect becomes mature, it will decipher the code that is in it. What great heritage we have. And very often it was brushed off, and we foolishly with our education system, which was definitely made for a purpose, and that purpose has come out from Oxford itself. Brushed off everything as mythology, which we keep on repeating, that our children only will say, they're brought up with that education, not understanding that it's mysticism at its highest. It's meditation at its highest. The story goes to point out that when Bhagwan, during the Samudra Manthan, the churning of the ocean, took the form of a beautiful damsel, not that he wore the clothes of a woman. He can take your form, everybody's form. So he took the avatar as a woman. And of course, it was meant to delude the asuras who were going to steal away the nectar of immortality. Lord Shiva, being such a great devotee of Bhagwan Vishnu, was also at the Samudra Manthan only when the poison came. Somebody has to take the bitter poison. He took the bitter poison and did not sit there for any credits or any appreciation or say, I've taken the poison, now give me the jewels, give me Lakshmi, give me this. He went away. While everybody took the jewels, etc., that came from the ocean, the powers that arose from the ocean. These are powers that rise in meditation. Only the Guru like Lord Shiva can take your negativities at that time when they come out from your subconscious and deeper conscious mind. But Shivji went away. But But when he heard about Mohini Avatar, when the infinite formless reality, consciousness, takes the form in any form, as Ramchandraji, as Krishna, as Narsimha, Lord, it's a sight to be seen. So every form Lord Shiva goes to see of Lord Vishnu when he takes avatar. But this form he didn't see. He said, Bhagwan, I wanted to see your form. At that time, Bhagwan told him, you see, you have conquered lust. This form is not meant for vairagis, dispassionate. It is meant to delude. It is meant to delude. So he said, no. He insisted. So Bhagwan took the form of Mohini. And the story goes, and don't say, ah, ooh, ah, ooh. They are only showing off. And in Bhagavatam it is clearly written that when Shivji had conquered lust by destroying the Lord of Lust, everybody thought that it's very easy to conquer lust, and becoming careless. And therefore Shivji and Vishnu did this nice job, because Shivji can't fall for any beauty. When the enchanter of the universe comes as the enchantress, who can ever not fall for that? So Shivji would only run after Bhagwan only. So he went there, and that time the brilliance of love that came out. In common language you see the seed came out, but that's in Devatas, what that? That was the Teja that Pavan Devata gathered. And he saw Anjani, who was praying with such devotion to Lord Shiva, to have a son like Lord Shiva. And he placed that soul, that amsha of Lord Shiva in Anjani. Now in our language it would be like, oh Pavan Devata, nothing of that sort. Then she was married to Kesari, and therefore he became like Nandanandan. He became Kesari Nandan. Now 3 fathers, what is the reputation you might say? But Tej Pratapa Mahajagavandan. That his brilliance, his achievements, his glory, that he has become worshipable, praised by the world for time immemorial. And why also will be pointed out. And even now, there are more places of reverence and worship for Hanumanji than any other deity in our country. Because in every Vishnu temple you will find Hanumanji. In every other Shakti temple you will find. In Ramchandraji's temple you have to find also. But in Hanumanji's temple you may find nobody. Because everybody is with him. So if you think about it, Tej Pratapa Mahajagavandan. Now don't go ahs and oohs and all that. You are also born like that with 3 fathers. Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhutas Sanatana. From Bhagavad Gita. It is one spark of consciousness that enters this inert body, and residing in this body becomes you, the living you. And if you just realize that you have come from the divine, not from the gross. You all are Shiva Amsha only. Not one particular God. Shiva means the auspicious infinite consciousness. Then only you can say Shivoham Shivo. And is it not that from your father, the gross body was carried by the prana shakti in the seed to the mother's womb? So is not Pavan Devata the instrument? Prana is the instrument till father. Kesari is this body's father, and the soul has come from none other than Shiva. The Jiva has come from Shiva. Arey, people think that Hanuman Chalisa is just the glory of Hanumanji. But Hanumanji is here to teach you your glory. And if anybody has got a doubt about it, read Shiv Puran, where it is clearly pointed out that Shivji's 11th avatar is Hanumanji. There's another meaning which says Shankara Suvanna. He is not the son of Shankar because he is Shankar himself. So Shankara Suvanna Kesari Nandan Tej Pratapa Mahajagavandan. Now so far his names and all were pointed out. Now his achievements also are beginning to point out his gunas. What are his virtues? What are his qualities? Vidyavan guni ati chatur Ram kaj karibe ko atur Prabhu charitra sunibe ko rasiya Ram lakhan sita man basiya. Vidyavan guni ati chatur Ram kaj karibe ko atur. Now you might think again this is a repetition of Vidyavan. No. Had all the knowledges of various sciences as well as of various upasanas, mind masteries, by which he had mighty powers like Anima, Garima, Mahima, all these powers that you hear about. So Vidyavan. Guni, full of virtues. Again, with Vidya, always virtues, values are pointed out. But people think, no, being good means people will take advantage of me. And how often I've told you that somebody came up to our Gurudev and said, Swamiji, do you think that if I make my children very good, people will treat them like a doormat? One person came up to Gurudev and said, that don't you think that if I become too good, that people will take advantage of me? And Gurudev used to say, that what's the use of your goodness if people will not take advantage of it? You're a good cook and nobody wants to eat. Please understand, a good person is not a dumb person. Ati chatur, very clever. Ram kaj karibe ko atur. But what is his motivating force? What is his driving force? What gives him that dynamism? Ever enthusiastic. Not for a party. Not for Peter Russells. Not for a stand-up comedian who makes fun of you. But Ram kaj karibe ko atur. To do the Lord's service work, always anxious, always enthusiastic. And this is best seen and the best part of Ramayana, really speaking. As much as you might think it's a very, fun story, but everybody enjoys watching that part the best, is when Hanumanji jumps across the ocean to go to Lanka. And that is no doubt the best part of the story that people like. And even the elders will sit there spellbound, because really speaking, life comes into Ramayana when Pavana Sutta, the son of Prana, comes into the picture. See that Ramayana itself gets life, really speaking, when Hanumanji comes into it. And when Hanumanji, till now he is being quiet, he's been sitting there. But when Jamban reminds him his potential and gives him that motivation that you are born only for Ramchandraji's work, here lies another secret. There's infinite potential in each one of us. These stories are coming back later, so I can go quickly tomorrow into that. Infinite potential is in all of us. We are born with mighty talents and powers. But you need someone to motivate us, to bring it out. You need a mentor, you need a teacher, you need a coach, you need a guru to make you understand and give you the confidence. When all the monkeys thought it was impossible to cross the ocean, Jamban goes to Hanumanji and says, Pavana Tanaya Bala Pavana Samana. That your son of Pavan Devta, of the wind god, You have all the talent, ability, and power of the wind. Why are you quiet, Hanumanji? Still, Hanumanji, that potential, that confidence does not rise till Jamban says and gives him the motivation and a purpose in life and says, Ram kaj lagi tava avatara. That your life is to do the mighty work of the mightiest. And then Bhaya Parvat Akara, he became mighty, big and strong. And then bowing down to the elders, taking the well wishes of everyone, he jumped across the ocean. And as he was going across the ocean, the story is very famous. It's a saga basically. That when he was going across the ocean, suddenly appears a Holiday Inn in the ocean. Yeah, transit lounge, Singapore, Hong Kong. These are not Holiday Inns in the ocean. Transit lounges. Traffic was quite intense. Air traffic over Lanka in India. Is it not? So naturally you need a transit lounge like Dubai, like Hong Kong, like Singapore. It was a shopping center. People came, rested for a while, went to the lounge. So he said, stop here for a while. So don't think, what bluff story. Suddenly from an ocean, a mountain rises and then tells them, wait in the rear, have a break, have a Kit Kat. It sounds like a bluff story. But it is true. And he says, because the winds have been favorable, please have free bread and breakfast, rest for a while. But Ram kaj lagitava avatara and Ram kaj karibe ko atur. The first obstacle comes on our way to mighty success is our tendency to rest when there's time for work. And Hanumanji stops there. Hanuman tehi parasa kar jori pikina pranam Ram kaj kiye binu mohi kaha vishram. He was lovingly offered. Hanumanji just folded his hand and said, but till I finish Lord's work, there is no rest. Because aram, haram has. When the country is on fire and everybody is resting, Mahatma Gandhi said, aram, haram hai. And the secret of success of Gurudev also, each day about 100 letters he has written with his hands. Made such a great organization. Did so much work every day. We in Hong Kong used to experience it. What a hectic schedule. How could he manage that? One secret he taught us, that when you take a work at hand, finish it. Don't stop even for a chai break. That's what you see in India. Chai break only. Don't stop till you reach your goal. Famous statement from the Kathopanishad, from the Bhagavad Gita, that Swami Vivekananda kept on repeating. Arise, awake, and stop not till you reach your goal. For that you have to have some motivation in your life. You must have that dedication that brings about that enthusiasm that I have no time to rest. As Gurudev would say, if you are motivated by such a goal, you generate such a source of power from within. You know, nowadays people need vitamin pill. But our mothers are example in our homes. When everybody is sick, they can't afford to be sick. Is it not? The sheer motivation at that time, that in spite of being sick also she will continue work and she will drive every sickness away from herself and the house also. That's called as Ram kaj karibe ko atur. Ram kaj karibe ko atur. Then he's flying at great speed and suddenly comes Sursa. Now that's the most entertaining part. She said, I'm going to eat you. Hanumanji says, oh, please let me go. I have to do, Ramchandri's work. She said, no, but I'm going to eat you. So he says, maybe, she's a woman. She's mother of snakes, huh? So she's a woman. She'll understand the sympathy of a woman. She said, but Sitaji is in distress. Let me go. But she didn't even that. Then he said, oh mother, let me go. In any form she might be cruel, but at least as a mother, which is mother of snakes, she gets upset with the children, she eats up her children also. Snakes are like that. Actually, the Devatas are sent to test his cleverness. Cleverness is when to use your might and when to refrain from using your might. You require cleverness. And you see, he could have easily given her one box. But you see, Hanumanji is fair. She said, ha ha ha, the Devatas have given me my food. And everybody's got right in nature to have their food. And something is a food of someone. And you should not be a hypocrite that if you eat someone's child, calf, veal, then you must allow someone to eat your child also sometime. Why do you kill those animals? Hanumanji is no hypocrite. He knows that somebody is somebody's meal. If she would have said, I'm here to fight with you, he would have fought with her. But she said, you're going to be my food. He said, well, if I'm supposed to be your food, I will enter your mouth. And if I'm in your destiny to be your food, but at the moment I can't even be afford to be your food. I've got something very important to do. No? Let me go. She said, no, I'm going to eat you up. But you see, Hanumanji did not fight with her. Because she said, I'll eat you up. But she was not approaching him to eat. And might is not always right. Hanumanji immediately thought. And he said, well, you keep on saying you want to eat. Because, barking dogs don't bite. Jo garajte wo, baraste nahi. He said, then eat me up. And he became twice his size. She opened her mouth even larger. He became even taller. She opened her mouth even larger. And well, if it was a television series where you have to collect advertisements, this would go on for almost 3 days or 3 weeks. But we don't have time for that, do we? Yeah, but still the most entertaining part. She opened her mouth bigger. He became bigger. So I said, Hanumanji's tail, he's become big. So it will increase a little bit. But he became bigger. Hanumanji became 800 feet tall. If he fell flat into Lanka, he would have reached there. And she opened her mouth even bigger. And Hanumanji said, let me not make this into a prestige issue. And this is another thing that we have to learn. When you are running a family, when you are running an organization, when you're running a company, when you are in a committee, when you're on a board, you must know when to be assertive. At the same time, if everybody is wanting their opinion only, and the goal is not reached, someone has to become small and let at least the work get done. Hanumanji suddenly became small, went into her mouth, as he said that I'll return back and go into the mouth. And by the time she could shut her big mouth, like when if you go to the streets of Bombay, Elko Market, and you eat not the small cocktail pani puris, but the golgappa. And you have to open your mouth so big to put it. Meanwhile, the Indian fly goes inside and comes out. Hanumanji went inside and came out and said, now mother, I went into your mouth. And she just smiles and says that you were very clever. Now I know that Lanka does not require just might and enthusiasm. It requires cleverness. At least I was sent here only to test. And therefore some life situations come to you to just prepare you for the bigger tests in life. Don't fight them. Encounter them. And Hanumanji went there. Another beautiful thing also you have to learn is that very often we don't reach our goal because we get carried by the ever large mouth of greed that goes on expanding. The best way to conquer greed is keep your needs to the minimum. Then Hanumanji goes and suddenly when he's flying at such great speed, trying to catch up the speed that is lost, suddenly Sinika, Ravan's sister, who was underground in the ocean, She had some power, and today we have those remote controls. She dragged him by his mere shadow and brought him down. There he leaves all chivalry and just gives her one, and she just falls down. And this represents jealousy within you or deliberately created in others. It always tries to drag you down. Only those who encounter all these and move forward, Vidyavan, yet all the knowledge of dealing with life situation. Guni, full of virtues, did not allow jealousy to affect him. Then Ati Chatur, know how to, when to become small and when to become big. And Rama Kaj Karibe Ko Atur, ever enthusiastic to do the Lord's work. So far you can understand what all does Hanumanji represent. And he says, how did he become like this? Prabhu Charitra Sunibe Ko Rasiya. This word Rasiya has got no translation in English, but now Indian mangoes will be arriving soon. Yeah? And not the way you eat it, with fork and spoon. When you crush that orange, and that sweet orange, when you take it, that is called as, now children will understand what they call it, icy something you take. No, what do you call it? Icy pop. It's so delicious. When listening to the glories of the Lord, he finds such joy that Hanumanji refused to go even to Vaikunt, the highest place or abode of bliss, but stayed in this world just to listen to the glories of Ramchandraji. And Ram Lakhan Sita Mana Basiya. So much so that when Sita ji gave him her pearl necklace, just thinking that Hanumanji has done so much love she felt, and love always expresses itself in giving. So when she surrendered and gave her necklace to him, Hanumanji breaks each pearl and throws it away. Now you give something so precious to someone, and Sitaji said, Hanuman, what are you doing? Naturally, precious gift. Do you know how precious these pearls are? He says, Mother, they're not precious at all. So how do you say that? You did a GI course? He says, none of them have got Ram or Ramchandra's name in it, and throws a whole pearl necklace at her feet. She got upset. It's like you bring a yadro all the way from Spain for your sister-in-law, and she said, "Cha vati aayo, mitti jo doll." Just one ceramic figurine. No, you spent $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 for it, and they call it a mitti, and it breaks. What is it? It just broke. No, what will happen to you at that time? Sitaji got so angry at that time. He said, Hanumanji, as though you have Ramchandraji in you. And that's the story, very famous, that Hanumanji tear opens his heart. And she says, Ram, Lakhan, you don't try it, please. The Hanumanji can do that. Ram, Lakhan, Sita, Mana, Pasya. And from every pore of his body, she could hear resonating, Siya Ram, Siya Ram, Siya Ram, Siya Ram. That's why his name is Nama. So this is all the names, the qualities of Hanumanji. And in that, we have also told you some of the feats of Hanumanji. Tomorrow, we shall tell the feats of Hanumanji. So, Nama, Guna, and tomorrow, Leela, the sports, the achievements of Hanumanji. We will cover that. We'll understand the glory and also how we can have it in us. At the same time, we'll also see the benefits that we get of holding on to Hanumanji as an ideal, as well as the glory of even just chanting the Hanuman Chalisa, and how much more with understanding, with the right feelings, and what it can bestow on you, not only on blessings, but what it can bring out of you. So that will be tomorrow's session. Tomorrow will be the last session, and tomorrow also. Are you Rasiya or not? Yeah? You enjoy it or not? So I tell you, we transcend time when we enjoy something, right? So we just take 10-15 also tomorrow a little bit on that. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Just one or two couple of announcements and we'll conclude.
Hari Om. We have Swamiji with us in Hong Kong for such a short time. But fortunately, with air travel being so easy, we can join Swamiji wherever he is in the world. By attending one of the many camps Swamiji holds, not only are we blessed to spend more quality time with him, but we also get the opportunity to delve deeper into the scriptures. Swamiji conducts camps all over India. This year, he will be leading a camp in the Uttarkashi ashram, high up in the Himalayas. This is where Tapovan Maharaj lived and where our Gurudev went to study the scriptures. It is where everything started. The camp, entitled Tapovan Shatkam, will run from the 10th to the 16th of October. Swamiji ends the year with two very popular and successful camps in Coimbatore at CIRS, our very own international residential school. The Global Teens Camp, entitled Potential to Perform, will be from December 16th to 23rd, followed by the Global Youth Camp from December 25th to Jan the 1st. These camps are amazing. I tell you firsthand, they are not to be missed. See you all tomorrow night at 6:55. Hari Om.
And of course, if you come early, Hanuman Chalisa is being chanted. You can take the benefit of chanting the Hanuman Chalisa with everybody. Please continue.